Welcome back, everybody. A scene that never gets old. The Moorhead Spuds celebrating a section championship last night in Alexandria as they knocked off Elk River Zimmerman to win the 8AA championship, and they're heading back to state. The defending state champions. Love saying that. Our guy Jon Ammerman joins us bright and early, right after a section championship win. Head coach of the Moorhead Spuds as they'll go back. The state hockey tournament begins a week from today. I could still call it XL Energy Center. I know it's Grand Casino Arena. Great to see you, bud. Congratulations. We were visiting off air, a shorter trip, so that meant you got home a bit earlier than last night, right?
Yeah, everyone is a little bit longer, whether you win or lose, just because after the game you're either celebrating or not. But yeah, being closer was nice. We got home at about midnight, which on that night is a little early for us. So all good. It was a fun night.
Describe how the team played last night. That you've been in so many of these games. That's to me, I feel is the hardest game to win because it's the game to get you there. How did you feel like the team? Obviously, they played very well, but mentality-wise, heading into last night.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you on the toughest one to win. For a lot of these kids and families, for that matter, it is the one game standing in the way of a lifelong dream for a lot of these kids. Our seniors have been playing hockey for 12 to 13 plus years, and that's a lot of road trips and a lot of time spent at the rink and preparing for games. So it's kind of that one final hurdle for a lot of people. And there's obviously anticipation and all that building up towards it. But this season overall, our team came in with a bunch of firepower. I think that, that is pretty well documented. A lot of guys returning, offensively, extremely dynamic. And at the beginning of the year, we were really good, a lot of enthusiasm. And towards the middle to end, there was a lack of detail in a lot of areas. And I think our kids are aware of it, or we're aware of it, but the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've really been impressed. And I think last night was a nice exclamation point for that. Obviously it's been a quick turnaround, so haven't watched video, but will today. And coming out of the rink, we were really happy with how hard we played. Some pretty high level goals in that. I think we don't expect, but it's not a surprise with some of the players we have, but really impressed with the grit. That's something we did lack in the middle. And it's been a nice improvement. Will Arnold played phenomenal in net. I don't know, there were a couple of shaky moments and he was a calm in there. And then, just walking away from the rink, we're really happy with the effort.
You mentioned a couple highlight reel goals. The first one from Brandon Mickelson. We got the highlights of this. How did it's a total backhand. It goes in the net. That's a phenomenal goal.
Yeah. And he came back to the bench and didn't even know. He kind of was, not stumbling, but off balance, and he threw it at the net, and just a great play. And then a shift later, Zach Zimmerman rips a puck low and beats the goalie. And then a couple minutes later, Joey Cullen. I actually, from my vantage point, thought that it was a different goal. But watching video, just an impressive release and great shot. And then we come out in the first shift of the second period, and it's just an outstanding play by Tyden, Evan, and Max. Just a lot of high level plays. And those are the ones that you see on video. And I'm sure in the background there's highlights or wherever it is. But, the plays to win games, just the mundane, we were really impressed with too.
Scoring first in a game like that, how much does that ease the pressure? You've been in so many of those, but drawn first blood, how big a deal is that?
Oh, no question. And, that in that lull that I talked about the second half of the year, it seemed like we were chasing every single game, and that's just a different way to play. So, retrospect, maybe that was a good thing. So our guys know and are comfortable with that, but it's a completely different dynamic when you're playing with the lead. And especially when a multiple goal lead. I know everybody says 2-goal lead is the worst lead, but we would take that over a 1-goal lead any day. And I thought, especially with that back-to-back shift in the first period, 2 great plays. We're up by 2 now. we just kind of eased into it, and it was from then on, it was a really good performance.
All right, this is a simplistic question. I'll have to ask anyway. Was it a loud bus ride home? Was it a workman-like bus ride home? Like, hey, we expected to go down there and dominate. What was it like on the way back home last night?
You know what? That's a great question, actually, because I'm not taking anything. Every year is a little different, just with the emotion and we have kind of a loose team. Like, they like to have fun, and they're not exactly the most overly serious, but the feeling going into the game was much different. And the feeling coming out in the back last year, they brought a speaker on the bus, and it was wild at times, and all in good fun, right?
Yeah.
But this year, I think Workman or whatever the expectation was is probably better. After about 45 minutes, they did put on some music, but it was kind of subdued. And there's a lot of guys that have some pretty high ambitions on this team, and I think that they were prepared, and it showed for sure.
Jon, how did this team handle throughout the year, and now you're heading back with the expectations of being the state champs? That hasn't happened before in Moorhead, that you've had to deal with that, and knowing everybody's best shot was coming. How do you feel the guys handled that?
I thought really well. And to be honest, outside of questions from outside, it hasn't really been discussed a whole lot. Our the core of our group is back, obviously, but there are some very talented complements that are in, and every year is just a little different. We're still, I know this sounds weird to say, but we're still kind of forming an identity of how we play, in just what that looks like. So I think that there's still more from this team. But I think they've handled it tremendously. There's no question that night in and night out, we've gotten best efforts from teams, even with it being a different group. But they've risen to the challenge most nights, and it's been a really fun year for sure.
Last thing for you, bud. So now, obviously, you wait to find out. Saturday is the seeding process, and there are still other section championship games up for grabs. How do you pay attention to this? You say, you know what, we'll find out Saturday, and that's when we'll talk to the guys about it. Oh,
absolutely. We're tuned into it. This is obviously the state tournament is a different level, but this week is week Crazy. And a half of the section tournament is one of the most fun times a year with all the things that are going on. And if you look at the different streams or social media, like just how many people are dialed into it. Tonight there's 3 more, and then 1 on Friday. So we're paying attention. And now the work starts. So with us now advancing, our coaching staff will start to divvy up some responsibilities on the hockey side of things to get prepared and make sure that no rock is left unturned. And it starts tonight and starting to prep for it.
Is there a guarantee that the Spuds play at 8:30 next Thursday? Because that seems to happen.
Well, they just rearranged the order. So the sessions are 11, 1, 6, and 8. And it used to be where the number 2 seed played at 11, the number 1 seed played at 6, but they flipped that around. And it was a proposal from the Coaches Association in that if you're the number 2 seed, you play the early game both days, the early session. And the thought is that it doesn't make sense for the 2 seed to have more rest than the number 1 seed, and for the 2 seed to have set game times. Because and those that follow, that second game a lot of times might be listed for 8, but sometimes it's 8 or 9 or whatever. So now it puts on both Thursday, Friday, the number 1 seed has a set game time. They have the most rest. You could say playing at 11 a.m. maybe is a disadvantage because you've never done that all year.
Right.
But I do applaud the State High School League in taking a proposal from the Coaches Association and trying it out. And if it doesn't work, we can always go back. But one thing that the State High School League occasionally gets, some grief on is that they're stuck in their old ways or old fashioned, and they're trying to make it a better experience. They're trying things. That's and we'll try it out this year. And right now, I would guess we'd either play at, depending on results, we would play in the first game of one of the two sessions.
Okay.
Time will tell which one that is.
It's great to see you, bud. Thanks so much for doing this. Congratulations on the win last night. We'll talk to you before we head down to St. Paul next week, okay?
All right, sounds great. Thanks, talking.
Jon Ammerman joining us. Congratulations to the Moorhead Spuds. They won the 8AA championship, and they'll find out who they play on Saturday is when the state hockey tournament bracket will be revealed. We'll break. We come back. We'll get our NFL Combine fix coming up. Carlton Lance will join us, Bryce's dad, as he gets set to hit the field on Saturday in Indianapolis. That's coming up when we return on Hot Mic after this.